Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of SMB Nation, I am back in Austin at the annual Spiceworks conference. It's Spice World 2018. I'm with my main man, Peter Tsai.
Hey.
We're here to talk analytics and data. As you know, I play an analytical person on TV. He actually does it for a living.
Right.
And you know, last year we talked about your study, just to level set, and folks, you can see the blog, I've linked to it below. But last year we talked about your annual study, and you had a lot of conversations about MSPs and partners, and I asked you questions about that. That's all down there. This year your annual study is out, and quite frankly, you took a different direction for my audience to enterprise. We're going to talk about that, but what are give me the top, half dozen points or so from your study this year.
Okay. So our study this year, we talked to about 800 IT pros from many different companies of all sizes in many different industries, both in North America and in Europe. And we were asking them, in this case, about what kind of technologies they plan to adopt within the next couple of years. We also asked them in a previous report about what their budget plans are for 2019.
Always important.
Yes.
What did you find?
So in the budget report, we found that most companies are either staying flat or they are going to increase their budgets. Very few companies are going to decrease their budget. So 89% are either flat or increasing their budgets. So that's good news. And then looking at the current report that we're talking about now, the future of tech, we asked a lot of different companies if they're going to adopt technologies like gigabit Wi-Fi, IT automation, IoT devices, etc. And we found those three that I mentioned were the top three. So IT automation, gigabit Wi-Fi, IoT, hyper-converged infrastructure as well. And also container technology was also at the top. So the majority of organizations plan to adopt IT automation, gigabit Wi-Fi, and IoT within 2 years. And then more than a third plan to go with hyper-converged infrastructure and containers as well.
Now I'm just reading over your shoulder here. That's how I took exams in college, right? You would answer the question, and then I would look over your shoulder.
Hey, we're not in school.
But what I'm not seeing, with all due respect, I'm not seeing blockchain.
Blockchain's towards the bottom.
Oh, there it is. It's way
only 9% of organizations currently use it, and less than 30% plan to adopt it in 20 years. But you said we were talking about small and medium businesses. So in this study, we found that large businesses are the most likely to adopt these emerging technologies.
That's what you
while
said.
Small and medium businesses might sit out on the sidelines for a little bit longer.
They do tend to lag
because they tend to have smaller IT departments. Often they have smaller budgets.
Well, this is your budget right here, man. I run a small. So, Peter, I want to continue the conversation about the enterprise spend and priorities, and small businesses aren't as able to do that as readily.
Larger businesses tend to have more resources. They have larger IT departments, and they can dedicate some of their IT department to investigate emerging technologies. Whereas if you're in a small business and there's one IT pro, or maybe two, or maybe none, where they're going through an MSP or something, they don't have that luxury of being able to look at new technologies.
Here's the irony, and what you've said makes sense for your constituency and your audience, and I've talked about that Spiceworks, I come every year because it's fun. It's the Comic-Con of IT conferences, in my opinion. It's a fun conference, but it's not necessarily overpopulated with SMB MSPs, right? And that's fine. Everybody should come once, but I'm wondering if your study, and I understand it may have been outside your parameters, but when I think of small businesses and technology, on the ISV side and DevOps side, now that's where we're getting the innovation from.
I see.
Right?
Yes, right.
Different animal.
Right.
And again, your study may not have gone there. I understand why. You're dealing with IT pro.
Right. So we're usually dealing with the IT pro who's embedded in an organization, for example, in the financial services or education or government industries. We did have a breakout a little bit in the data where we talked to people who are in the IT services businesses. That might be a little bit more.
Talk to me.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. And so you can see adoption, for example, of IT automation is quite high. The adoption, for example, of IT services compared to government, you can see that adoption is much higher. For example, you're talking about container technology with DevOps. You can see the future planned adoption is quite high, over 40% within a couple of years. Adoption of serverless computing, for example, compared to other industries, you can see that in this particular segmentation, it might be more representative of the audience you just spoke of.
Yeah. Question for you on the overuse of the term AI and artificial intelligence, because this is bugging me.
Okay.
Probably bored you last year that I had, in addition to my role at SMB Nation, did a big data startup in predictive analytics in Seattle, and
Right.
and that was a couple years ago, and all that, and then the word became machine learning,
Right.
and then it became AI,
Right.
and quite frankly, I'm not buying it because having been in a big data startup, I got machine learning. I mean, I understood the iterations and
Right.
how that worked. With
Right.
AI, it's like this freaky thing going on up in the universe, man.
I think it's like a big umbrella term that it has expanded to be like cloud, where it encompasses so many different
Yeah.
things. So machine learning is a very specific example of a discipline or a technology
Yeah.
within AI, but people tend to overuse it, and
Yeah.
it tends to be a buzzword or a marketing word to sell products sometimes.
Yep.
But in this case, we're talking about just AI in general. We also had a security section of
Oh,
the survey.
well, we like security.
Yeah, where we asked people if they're using security tools with AI functionality as well.
Yeah.
So we did get a little bit more granular on this. So, for example, when we asked IT pros if they thought AI-powered security solutions were
Yeah.
effective, about 19% of the folks said that they were planning on using those, and they thought those were the most effective ways that they could secure
Yep.
their networks. So we're not seeing a crazy high amount of adoption of those technologies yet, but it's up and coming.
Well, last question is, and folks, you can download the study at the link on the bottom of the screen and read it at your leisure, but where will people be able to maybe see you at other events speaking on this topic, or will you be doing more studies over the course of the year, or can they track you on Twitter?
Oh, sure. Okay, all of the things. So yes, we're going to give a talk about artificial intelligence. Actually, I'm going to be speaking with the data team
Yeah.
later at Spiceworks this
Yeah.
year. As far as our data program, we release studies every few months on different types of
Right.
topics, not only the State of IT report.
That's right.
But other emerging technologies, we'll do a deeper dive into those
Yep.
reports as well. Also, you asked people if they can find me on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can find me. My name is Peter Tsai, Tsai.
Yep,
You
got
can
it
find
on the
me
screen. Yep.
Find me on Twitter at Super Tsai. Super Tsai, my last name.
Oh, super. I was like super size.
Kind of like supersized fries, you know.
All right. Well, I know you're busy. I mean, 2,000 attendees, representing over 1,000 companies. That was a very interesting statistic.
Yes.
That tells me companies are sending one person on average.
Right.
And that was very interesting to me. And again, folks, I ask of you to think about Spiceworks. So it would be Spiceworks Spice World 2019. Because there's a hidden little jewel to this week, and that is Austin City Limits is on the
yes.
weekend before and the weekend after, and I'm staying over a couple of days
nice.
to listen to some music. So
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, good to talk to you again. We'll
Thanks
see you next
for
year.
coming out. All right.
All right.